Yeah, Sean Mason from the University of Adelaide. I'm here at Lameroo talking about potassium and sulphur for More Profit from Crop Nutrition initiative run by GADC. This workshop's been run by BCG and it's in turn looking at extension messages to farmers from our work. So I've been involved in the initiative with the potassium and sulphur project. It's been quite interesting and we've sort of been looking at the chemistries of the two, and I suppose the bigger picture for today was sending that message out to farmers about should they be worried about their potassium and sulphur levels. So the key messages, sulphur today and through work from the initiative, so there's quite a few field trials going on in southeastern Australia with sulphur. There's been a bit of a gap in terms of field trial work. A lot has been done in WA, so the soil tests are quite well calibrated for those soils. So there's been quite a few field trials go in for sulphur, led by Mark Conyers and his team, looking at in this region and southeastern Australia. So we'll hopefully get some messages, but last year and the year before the message has been it's been quite hard to get an economic response to sulphur applications on soils, and they've been chasing soils with very low soil test levels. So we're talking about 2 to 3 milligrams per kilogram of KCl 40 sulphur test, and they still haven't got economic response. We found the same. We collected 15 soils from across Australia, so the 3 growing regions, GADC growing regions, and we effectively couldn't find a response to sulphur application as well. So our work was looking at different soil tests, sulphur tests, so we actually manufactured responses, and we actually defined critical levels of KCl and MCP of around 2 to 3 mark for canola and wheat. So in the literature suggests we should be looking at about 4 to 5. So I suppose the message is should these critical levels actually be lower for our southeastern soils, but more information should come of that through Mark Conyers' work. Sulphur, if there is a deficiency, should be quite easily fixed. Any sulphur application through sulphate products or even gypsum is quite freely available to the soil. So high efficiencies. There's not much ability of the soil to actually tie up sulphur, which is good news for the farmer. It is quite mobile, so it does behave quite similar to nitrate, so it can move down through the profile, and that's why we're advocating deep testing for sulphur. So while your top 10 centimetres may come back low, there may have been sulphur movement down through the profile, like I said, and maybe captured down at deeper levels, but still applicable to root zone. So that was the key message for sulphur. Potassium, we again looked at these 15 different soils from different regions, looked at different soil testing. Coal K and exchangeable K methods appear to be quite good in terms of looking at critical levels and accuracy. And again, literature predominantly dominated by WA. Critical levels suggested around 40 to 50 for Coal K. Our data suggests for early growth it was around sort of 70 to 80 mark. Again, Mark Conyers and his group, there's also a group in Queensland and WA looking at potassium trials, again trying to fill the gaps of where we actually haven't looked at deficiency, or soil types where we haven't looked at potassium deficiency. Last year I believe they got quite a couple of responses from the trials, and this saw related to exchangeable K and Coal K measurements around this 40 to 50 mark. So the critical level might be slightly above that. Potassium is less mobile than sulphate, but it is soil type dependent. So heavier textured soils, clays, can actually capture a fair bit of fair bit of potassium, whereas your sandy soil types, typical of Lameroo region, the potassium can be quite mobile. So again, the WA people have actually found that soil sampling to deeper depths can actually improve soil test correlations, and again there can be sources of potassium possibly below that 10 centimetre layer that can actually be applicable to plant K uptake. So message today was to soil test, marry that up with your plant analysis, so looking at plant deficiency symptoms, plant tissue testing, and also looking at sort of burnt windrows or extra growth in burnt windrows from the previous year, which the WA guys found to be applicable to potassium, and that was basically the story. So be alert, but possibly not alarmed for these two elements.